I stood in the cold, pulled out my phone, and dialed a number I hadn't called in 3 years. Dad, I said quietly, I think I need to come home. There was a long silence. Then I heard my father's choked voice, Sarah, I've been waiting for you to say that. For 5 years. Adam began openly favoring Lily. At parties, he held her by the waist, telling everyone, Lily's easily scared, please, go easy on her. People looked at me with a mix of pity and mockery. While Adam went to get drinks, Lily leaned close to my ear. Do you know why Adam married you? She whispered, because his father disapproved of his first love. Adam married you just to spite him, like he was saying, look, I'd rather marry a nobody than the woman you chose. My fingers tightened around my wine glass. You were just a pawn, Sarah, from the beginning, she added softly. Oh, and the baby. Adam always thought it was filthy. I did you a favor by getting rid of it. My stomach clenched so hard I nearly doubled over. I dry heaved, but nothing came out except acid and bitterness. Adam returned and frowned in irritation. What now? He snapped. Sarah, must you embarrass yourself in public every time? I looked at this man I had loved for 8 years. Suddenly he felt like a stranger. Adam, I said softly, that was a life enough. He hissed, if you keep acting out, I won't hesitate to teach you a lesson. A lesson, in his eyes. I was someone who needed discipline. I straightened up, wiped my mouth, and said, no need, starting today. Your rules don't apply to me. I walked out steadily, steadier than I expected. At the door, I made my second call to my father. Dad, I said, I want to start learning the company. Good, he replied. Tomorrow at 9, board meeting, sit next to me. I spent 2 full weeks preparing, and then, on a Friday night, I sent everything out, all the evidence, the medical records, the original versions, before they were altered. The restored surveillance footage only a few seconds long, but enough to show Lily Young walking into the operating room, smiling, the audio from the fetal heart monitor, my baby's last heartbeat, and the recording of Adam Reed calling the hospital director, bury it. I don't care what it costs. At 3 a.m., social media exploded. Illegal procedures at private hospital, nurse performs unauthorized abortion, Reed group suspected of suppression, bribery. By 6 a.m., reporters were crowding the hospital entrance. At 7, the health department walked into the director's office. By 8, 3 nurses anonymously accepted interviews. It was head nurse Lily who forced us to alter the records. Adam burst into my hospital room just as I was calmly eating breakfast. Sarah, was this you? His eyes were bloodshot. Like a furious beast, I finished my last spoonful of porridge. Well, Mr. Reed, I said, did you need something? Do you even understand what you've done? You're ruining Lily. I wiped my mouth and looked up at him. And when she killed my child, did she think about ruining me? Lily tried rushing in, screaming, but 2 bodyguards stopped her, the ones my father had sent. Sarah, you bitch! I hope you die. I walked to the doorway and looked at her through the gap between the guards. Lily, I said softly, this is only the beginning. Her face drained of all color. Adam tried lunging toward me, but the bodyguards pinned him in place. Sarah, if you dare lay a hand on Lily. I laughed, for the first time. I actually laughed in his face. And why wouldn't I dare? I asked quietly, when you 2 killed my baby, did you ask whether I dared? Lily shrieked hysterically, begging Adam to save her. Adam struggled, but the guards held him like iron pillars. Then my father's people walked in. Badges displayed. Lily Young, you are under investigation for medical malpractice and falsifying documents. Please come with us. As they escorted her out, she looked back at me one last time, her eyes full of venom. I stared back calmly. Outside, the morning sunlight spilled across the floor. For the first time in a long time, my world felt like it was beginning to brighten. Lily Young was suspended. Her nursing license was revoked, and criminal charges were on the table. Adam tried pulling every string he had, but this time, none of his connections worked. One phone call from my father, and suddenly everyone decided to follow procedure. Lily sobbed over the phone to Adam. My life is over. Adam, I'm ruined. Adam smashed 2 expensive vases in his office. When he came looking for me, I was handling my discharge paperwork. Withdraw the lawsuit, he ordered. Name your price. I continued sorting papers without looking up. Adam, I said calmly, you still don't understand. This isn't a negotiation. Then what do you want? He roared. Money? Property? Just say it. I finally lifted my head. I looked at the man I once loved more than life itself. Now I felt nothing but pity. I want my child to come back to life. I stared straight into his eyes. Can you give me that? He froze. Since you can't. I stood up. Get out of my way. I walked past him and out of the hospital. My father's car was waiting outside. Before getting in, I looked back one last time. Adam was still standing there, lost, helpless, devastated. But he didn't deserve sympathy, not anymore. In the car, my father handed me a thick folder. Lily Young's dirt, he said, from middle school to now bullying classmates, cheating on exams, taking bribes at work, framing coworkers. Quite a collection. My hands trembled slightly as I flipped through the pages. Not from fear, from anticipation, Dad, I said softly. I want to handle this myself. He nodded. Good. Just remember, when you strike a snake, go for the 7-inch spot, and for Lily, the 7-inch spot was Adam Reed. I spent the next 3 months preparing. During the day, I learned business operations. At night, I compiled evidence. My father assigned his best attorney to me, attorney Charles Evans, a 40-year-old legend who had never lost a case. Miss Warren, he told me as he reviewed the files. This is enough to drop the Reed Group's stock by 30. I shook my head. I want 50. He looked at me for a moment, then smiled. All right. We struck on the day the Reed Group released their quarterly report. At 10 a.m., the earnings looked strong. At 10:30, my first wave of exposure hit the internet. Illegal medical practices in Reed Group hospitals. At 11 o'clock, the second wave, bribery in Reed Group's pharmaceutical procurement. At noon, the third wave, audio recording of Adam Reed offering bribes. By 1 p.m., when the stock market reopened, Reed Group stock collapsed, a hard limit down within 5 minutes inside their building. Adam Reed was raging during the board meeting. Find out who did this. I'll make them pay with their life. Across the street, in a cafe, I calmly watched the lights in his office burn late into the night until 3 a.m. He would never guess that the woman he thought only knew how to cry was dismantling his empire piece by piece. At 4 a.m., a text message pinged my phone, a number I didn't recognize, but I knew who it was. Sarah, let's talk. I didn't reply. I deleted the message, turned off my phone, and slept more peacefully than I had in years. Lily Young was eventually released. Not enough evidence because a key witness suddenly changed their testimony. Of course, Adam had done it. He still protected her. The first thing Lily did after getting out was come find me. She knelt in front of my new company building, in front of everyone. Sarah, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. She cried hysterically. I only did it because I loved Adam too much. I couldn't control myself. People started gathering. Phones came out. Cameras clicked. I stood there quietly and watched her act, until Adam came running from across the street. He grabbed Lily by the arm, yanked her to her feet, and slapped me across the face. The crack echoed down the entire street. Sarah. Adam's eyes were bloodshot. Lily is already like this. How long will you keep pushing her? My cheek burned, but my heart hurt more, because in his eyes, I would always be the one at fault. Lily hid behind him, smiling triumphantly just for me to see. I touched my cheek, and suddenly, I laughed. Adam, I said, you two really are perfect for each other. One vicious, one blind, a match made in hell. I turned to leave. Adam grabbed my arm. Where are you going? I jerked away, to a place where neither of you exist. This time, he didn't follow, but I knew he would regret it. Because at the moment he pulled me back, my finger had already pressed the record button inside my pocket. His words, Lily's fake sobs, all of it, neatly documented. A gift I would return. In due time, I moved back into my father's home. It had been 5 years since I last set foot there. My bedroom was exactly the same as the day I got married, bookshelf lined with law textbooks. I had once dreamed of becoming a lawyer. My father stood at the doorway, eyes red. Sarah. Dad, I whispered, hugging him tightly. I'm sorry for disappearing all those years. Sorry for marrying a man you warned me about. Sorry for making you worry. My father patted my back, just like when I was a child. As long as you're back, he choked out. That's all that matters. That night, I stayed up drafting the divorce agreement. Attorney Evans reviewed it for me. It was simple. I asked for nothing except freedom, Adam's money, Adam's properties, Adam's entire world. I wanted none of it. It was all tainted. At 3 a.m., I signed my name. My hand didn't tremble, not even once. The next morning, a courier delivered the papers to Adam's office. By noon, I had 99 plus missed calls, all from Adam, along with countless text messages. Pick up. Sarah, where are you? Let's talk. I'm not signing the divorce. I read them all, then deleted them, and turned off my phone. That afternoon, I accompanied my father to meet the company's senior executives. Everyone seemed stunned by me, because every comment I made cut straight through the issues. After the meeting, in his office, my father broke down again. "Sarah, you've grown." I shook my head. "No, Dad. I just died once, and once you die you stop fearing anything." When Adam received the paternity report, he was in the middle of a board meeting. His assistant rushed in, panicked, handing him the envelope. He opened it, saw the results, and froze. 99.99 probability the child was his, without question. Witnesses said his hands shook so violently that he dropped the paper. It drifted to the floor. He scrambled down to pick it up, and stayed on his knees for a long time. The meeting ended abruptly. He sped to the hospital and found the OB-GYN who had taken care of me. The doctor looked at him with a complex expression. "Mr. Reed, every appointment Sarah had, she came alone. I asked why you never accompanied her. She said you were busy. She always touched her belly and said, 'Baby, Daddy is busy. But he loves us.' The last appointment. The baby was perfectly healthy. She told me, 'Doctor, I bought little clothes, blue ones. Adam likes baby boys.'" Adam leaned back against the wall and slowly collapsed to the floor. "Why?" he whispered, broken. "Why didn't she tell me?" The doctor exhaled softly. "She did, many times. But every time she tried, you said she was making excuses to get money." Adam covered his face, shoulders shaking uncontrollably. Then came the low, guttural sobs, the kind only wounded animals made. No one pitied him. Nurses in the hallway looked on with cold indifference. "He deserved it," they whispered, and he did. Adam began reinvestigating the kidnapping from 3 months earlier. The truth was even more vicious than he imagined. The kidnapping had been orchestrated by Lily Young. Her plan was simple: make me disappear permanently. The kidnapper was her cousin. Their original plan was to hold me for 3 days, then get rid of me, but I escaped. Lily's cousin was now in prison. In exchange for a reduced sentence, he confessed everything. When Adam confronted Lily, she was lounging in their love apartment, wearing my old pajamas. "Adam." She smiled brightly when he walked in. "You're here." Adam threw the stack of evidence in her face. "Explain." Lily's smile froze. She picked up the papers, her face draining of color with every page. This can't be." "Your cousin confessed," Adam said coldly. "Even your plan to have him violate Sarah." Lily's knees buckled. She collapsed onto the floor. "Adam, listen to me. I did it because I love you. I was afraid she'd take you away." "So you killed my child?" Adam grabbed her by the throat, eyes burning red. 7 months, Lily. 7. That was a life. Lily's eyes rolled back as she clawed at his hands. Adam let go. She crumpled to the floor, coughing violently. "Adam." She wheezed, crawling toward him. Desperate, pathetic. "I was wrong. I swear I was wrong. Please, just forgive me once." Adam looked down at her, and there was no love left in his eyes, just disbelief and disgust. "How could I ever have loved someone like you?" Lily froze. Then she laughed, a frantic, hysterical laugh that echoed off the walls. "Someone like me," she screamed. "Adam Reed, you call me poisonous?" She jabbed a finger at him. "You're the worst of all. You married Sarah even though you didn't love her. You knew the baby was yours, but you pretended not to believe. You let her suffer because it was convenient for you." Adam's face turned deathly pale. Lily kept laughing like she'd gone mad. "And now you regret it?" "Too late." "Adam, I have all your dirt. If you don't protect me, we go down together." Adam stared at her for a long moment. Then he turned away, pulled out his phone. "Security," he said coldly. "Come to my apartment and remove Miss Young, and throw all her belongings into the dumpster." Lily shrieked as guards dragged her out. Adam didn't look at her. He stood by the window, frozen. A minute later, he pulled out his phone again. He dialed a number, my number. He held the phone to his ear, but instead of ringing, he heard, "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." He froze, dialed again. Same message. Then he remembered. I had blocked him everywhere. Phone, email, text, social media. Every doorway into my life slammed shut. He sank to the ground, hands covering his face. But this time, I would never come back. I began fully taking over my father's company. On my first official day, I wore a black suit and had cut my hair short. In the conference room, all the senior executives were already seated, waiting. "Good morning," I said, standing at the head of the table. "I'm Sarah Warren. Starting today, I will be taking over as CEO." Someone muttered skeptically, "Isn't Miss Warren a little too young?" I turned on the projector. Slide after slide showed the investment decisions I had made over the past 3 months, every single one earning over 30% returns. The room fell silent. "Any questions?" I asked, glancing around. Not a single person spoke. "Good," I said. "Then here's my first decision." I clicked to the next slide. "We're initiating a full-scale acquisition of the Reed Group." The room burst into chaos. "What? Are you serious? You mean Adam Reed's company?" "Yes," I said calmly. "Reed Group's stock is weak. Their internal structure is collapsing. This is the perfect time." I passed around the acquisition plan. 10 minutes later, the first board member raised a hand. "I agree," then the second, the third. Soon every single hand was raised. Unanimous approval. After the meeting, my father waited in his office. "Sarah." His eyes shone with pride, and something softer, almost grief. "If your mother could see you now." I hugged him gently. "Dad," I said, "I'm going to be okay." For the first time, I truly meant it. That afternoon, the acquisition began. When Reed Group received our tender offer, Adam was in another board meeting. His secretary rushed in with the documents. Adam skimmed the first page, and his face drained of all color. "Acquirer, Warren Enterprises project lead, Sarah Warren." He shot to his feet, knocking his chair over. No, this can't be real." But the signature was mine. Black ink. Bold, final. He bolted out of the building, sped across the city, and arrived under my company's headquarters. But the security guard stopped him. "I'm her husband," Adam shouted. The guard checked the list, then shook his head. "Miss Warren gave clear orders. Adam Reed is strictly prohibited from entering the building." Adam stood outside the glass doors, staring up at the top floor where my office was. The sunlight reflected off the windows, blinding him, just like years ago when he stood at the top, looking down on me. Now the roles had reversed. He was the one outside looking up. The acquisition went smoothly. Reed Group's shareholders had long been fed up with Adam, his overspending on women, his incompetent leadership, his negligence of company affairs. Our offer was fair, temptingly fair. One by one, they sold their shares within a month. Warren Enterprises owned 41% of Reed Group, the largest stake. On the day of the board reorganization, Adam Reed was officially removed as chairman. The new chair, Sarah Warren. When I walked into the Reed Group building, employees lined the halls, watching in silence. Their eyes held a mix of awe, fear, and curiosity. Adam was waiting in the boardroom. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, gaunt, older, almost unrecognizable. "Sarah," he whispered, "can we talk?" "Mr. Reed," I said, taking my seat at the head of the table. "Please address me as Ms. Warren." He froze. "We're here," I continued, "to discuss Reed Group's restructuring. If you have professional input as the former chairman, present it." He stared at me, eyes red. "You're really going to treat me like a stranger?" "Mr. Reed," I said calmly, "if you don't have relevant comments, please leave. This meeting is for board members. Unrelated individuals cannot stay." The words hit him like a physical blow. Unrelated individual. He staggered to his feet and walked out. 2 hours later, when I stepped outside the building, it had begun to rain. Adam was kneeling in it, soaking wet, hair plastered to his skin, shivering. "Sarah." He looked up at me, rain and tears indistinguishable. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I opened my umbrella and walked toward him. I crouched down so our eyes aligned. "Adam," I said softly, "if I told you I'm pregnant again right now, would you believe me?" He froze. "You wouldn't, right?" I smiled. "Because you never believed me. Not once." "That's not." "Then tell me," I whispered. "On the day our baby died, did you really believe he wasn't yours?" His mouth opened, but no sound came out. I stood up straight. "You know the answer." I turned to leave. "Sarah," he shouted behind me, "I love you." I didn't look back. His love was worthless enough to kill his own child. A love that cheap. I didn't want it. Adam refused to sign the divorce agreement. He dragged it out for 3 months, until the day the court summons was delivered to his door. I had officially filed for divorce. On the day of the hearing, he arrived early. When he saw me walk in, his eyes lit up with desperate hope. "Sarah." I walked past him without stopping and took my seat at the plaintiff's table. The judge began. "Defendant, do you agree to the divorce?" Adam stood. His hands trembled. "I don't agree. Your reason?" the judge asked. "I still love her." The judge turned to me. "Plaintiff?" I answered calmly. "There is no love left, and the marriage is beyond repair." Adam panicked. He stepped forward. "No, Sarah, we can fix this. We can try, Mr. Reed, I interrupted. Do you remember what you told me that night at the hospital? His expression went blank. You said. I recited, word for word, Sarah. If you make trouble again, I'll make sure you never leave this hospital. The entire courtroom fell silent. Adam's face turned chalk white. I never said that. I reached into my bag and placed a recording device on the table. Do you need me to play it? Adam collapsed into his chair. Defeated, the judge didn't hesitate. Divorce granted. When I walked out of the courthouse, Adam chased after me. Sarah. Wait. I stopped but didn't turn around. He swallowed, voice trembling. Can't we have one last meal together? I looked back at him. Adam. The only connection between us was our child. My voice was steady, and he's gone, so now we're strangers. No, we still have memories. Memories? I laughed softly. Those memories are filled with nothing but your betrayal and cruelty. Why would I want to keep them? Adam broke. Right there on the courthouse steps, crying like a child, loud, ugly, desperate, but my heart didn't move an inch. Before getting into my car, I said the last words I would ever say to him. Take care. The door shut, the car pulled away. In the rearview mirror, his figure grew smaller and smaller, until he vanished completely, just like he vanished from my life, forever. After the divorce, I threw myself into charity work, most of it focused on helping single mothers and women who had suffered from domestic abuse. My father supported me completely, donating a large sum in my name. One day, I visited a children's welfare center to deliver clothes and books. A tiny girl hid in the corner, too timid to come closer. I walked over and crouched down. What's wrong? The little girl lifted her face. Her eyes were wide, clear and filled with fear. Auntie, she whispered. Will you leave me too? A sharp pain pierced my chest. Why would you think that? She sniffled. Mommy said she was going out to find a job, and she never came back, the director said. Mommy doesn't want me anymore. I reached out and gently wrapped my arms around her. She was so small, so thin, shaking with every breath. What's your name? Cindy. She murmured. Cindy. I said softly, if you want, I can be your mom from now on. Would that be okay? The little girl froze. Then she burst into tears and clung to my neck like she was drowning. Mommy, don't leave me, please. That day, I signed the adoption papers. Cindy was 5 years old. My baby, if he had lived, would have been 5 this year too. Was it fate? I didn't know, but I did know. I had a daughter now. Rumors spread about Adam Reed. He was doing badly. The company was gone. The money was gone. Friends vanished. Reputation destroyed. Lily came looking for him after she left prison and he kicked her out. Later, Lily's mental state deteriorated. She was admitted to a psychiatric institution. Adam lived alone in their old house, drinking every night. One night he drank too much and fell down the stairs, breaking his leg. No one helped him. My father visited him once. When he came home, he simply said, he's not even human anymore, more like a ghost. I didn't ask for details. I didn't need them. Adam's life no longer had anything to do with me. Later, he wrote a book, Confessions. It didn't sell. Then he left the country. No one knew where he went, maybe somewhere far away, still repenting, but I no longer cared. When I woke up on the operating table, the baby was already gone, and outside the door, my husband and the woman who caused my miscarriage were hiding in a corner, wrapped in each other's arms, whispering sweet nothings. They thought I would cry, beg, or fall on my knees. But I simply walked away in silence. Half a year later, I returned under a new identity, as the company's largest shareholder, as the one who would deliver judgment on them both. I opened my eyes, and my hand instinctively moved to my belly. Flat, I shot upright. A sharp, tearing pain ripped through my abdomen. Under the blanket, my stomach was deflated, soft and empty. Where's my baby? My voice trembled uncontrollably. The door opened. Lily Young walked in, dressed in a pink nurse's uniform, smiling like a blooming flower. Hey sis, you're awake. She stepped to my bedside and lowered her voice. That little accident, you're welcome. By the way, I took care of it for you. My mind exploded with a deafening roar. What? What did you just say? The baby. Lily tilted her head, her tone feather light. Besides, Adam isn't even sure it was his. Ending it early is better for everyone. My whole body began to shake. I reached for the call button, but Lily pressed down on my hand. No need to call anyone. The consent form was already signed. She pulled a piece of paper from her pocket and waved it in front of me. See? You agreed to the procedure yourself. The signature looked exactly like mine. So real I almost believed I had actually signed it. Where's Adam? I gritted my teeth. I want to see Adam. Adam's busy, Lily said softly, patting my hand. He told me to remind you to rest well and stop making a fuss. I shoved her hand away and forced myself out of bed, despite the agony stabbing through me. Every step felt like a knife slicing into my lower abdomen. At the front desk, I demanded access to the surveillance footage. The nurse glanced at me, then at Lily standing behind me. I'm sorry, she said quietly. The cameras weren't working during that time. I want my medical records and the surgery report. The nurse typed on her keyboard for a long time before whispering, "There's no record of any surgery for you today." I felt the blood drain from my body. That was when Adam Reed finally showed up. He was wearing a tailored suit, face cold, brows tightly furrowed. "Sarah, what is it now?" His first question wasn't whether I was in pain, not where our baby went. He blamed me. Lily's eyes instantly reddened as she ducked behind Adam like a frightened child. "Adam, Sarah's mad at me," she whimpered. "I only did it for her own good. If word got out she was pregnant before marriage, it'd be so embarrassing for her." Adam wrapped his arm around her shoulders. The look he gave me was the same look someone gives trash on the sidewalk. "Lily was thinking about you. Don't be ungrateful." I stood there, my stomach empty, my heart emptier. "Adam," I heard myself whisper, my voice trembling, "that was your baby. 7 months, he could already kick." Adam let out a cold, mocking laugh. "Mine? And how do you know what happened during those 3 days you were kidnapped? You expect me to just believe nothing happened?" It felt like someone struck me across the skull, from behind him. Lily revealed half her face and silently mouthed, "Serves you right." Adam made a few phone calls, then looked at me with impatience. "It's over. The hospital's been taken care of. The police won't get involved. Sarah, if you keep causing trouble." He didn't finish. But I already knew the threat. They left together. I returned to the hospital room alone, barely able to walk without collapsing. On the bedside table sat the small fetal heart monitor. Just yesterday, I used it to listen to my baby's heartbeat, rapid and strong, like a tiny train. Now the probe lay unplugged, its wires hanging lifelessly over the bed. I picked it up and held it against my chest. The tears finally came, but only for 3 seconds. I wiped my face and stared at the pale ghost in the mirror. "Sarah," I whispered to myself, "crying won't help." I carefully placed the fetal heart monitor in my bag. This debt I would collect, in blood, if necessary. A week later, I developed a 10 for F fever. When the ambulance brought me back to the same hospital, Lily stood there with a smug little smile. They ran test after test. The doctor's face grew darker each time. "Miss Warren," the middle-aged doctor finally said, hesitant, "there's a foreign object inside your body." Before I could react, Lily gasped dramatically, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry." She clasped her hands like she was praying. Her eyes instantly filled with tears. "Last time during the procedure, I got nervous and forgot to remove a piece of gauze." A piece of gauze inside my body. For an entire week, Adam rushed into the exam room just as Lily was crying prettily. "Adam, I didn't mean to. I was so scared. It was my first time doing something like that." Adam pulled her into his arms. Then he turned and yelled at me, "Sarah, can you stop nitpicking everything? Lily's still young, so she made a small mistake. So what?" I collapsed to my knees. The pain so fierce I couldn't even stand. My abdomen felt like it was burning and like knives were twisting inside me. Adam held Lily gently, comforting her, whispering to her. He didn't spare me a single glance. Lily looked at him adoringly. Then, when he wasn't looking, she mouthed to me, "You will never beat me." I clung to the wall and slowly pushed myself upright. "Adam," I rasped, "are you two trying to kill me?" Adam spun around, eyes bloodshot. "Sarah, stop playing the victim. I didn't blame you for the kidnapping. I didn't blame you for the baby. What more do you want?" "Didn't blame me?" A bitter laugh rose in my throat. Laughing hurt, but I laughed anyway. "Tell me," I said slowly, "was it you who told her to kill the baby?" The room fell silent. Adam froze. 3 seconds passed. He didn't answer, but silence was the sharpest answer of all. When they left the room, the door clicked shut with finality, and I sank to the floor. In their eyes, I wasn't even a person. I was just a problem to be disposed of. 3 months earlier, I had been kidnapped, locked in a pitch-black room for 3 days. No food, no water, only freezing cold and endless fear. On the 4th day, I pried open a window myself, jumped from the 2nd floor, and dragged my bleeding leg for 2 miles before I finally found someone to call for help. When I got to the hospital, Adam was in a VIP suite gently feeding Lily spoonfuls of warm porridge. Lily had been kidnapped too, except her kidnapper was her cousin, and she'd been held in a hotel room for only 3 hours. She'd merely been shaken up. I had nearly died that winter. Adam told me then, "Lily is emotionally fragile. I need to take care of her first. You're strong. You can handle it." And I believed him. I was a fool. Now Lily tells everyone that during those 3 days, I was probably unclean, otherwise why would the kidnappers only release her? She asked Adam tearfully. She must have agreed to something. Adam believed her. I slammed a paternity test on the table. He didn't even look at it. He crumpled it in his fist and tossed it into the trash. "How much does it cost to forge a piece of paper?" He sneered. "Sarah, you disgust me." Lily fell to her knees, shaking dramatically. "It's my fault. I shouldn't have said anything. Sarah, if you want to hit me, go ahead." Adam lifted her into his arms protectively and shouted at me, "Get out." So I did. I walked out of the hospital, into the freezing wind. Turns out a person's suffering can be brushed aside as a misunderstanding, and the truth can be twisted however someone wants.